Hey, what's up everyone? This is Sean and welcome to the Magic and Thrills. Hey, what's up everyone? This is Sean and welcome to another video here on the Magic and Thrills. Now on this video I wanted to have another, it's been a while since we've had a discussion video really. And today, which is Wednesday, or almost Thursday I should say, it's going to be around 6 weeks out until Epic Universe and Universal Orlando officially opens to the public, and I wanted to kind of make a overall kind of overarching video that really encompasses, for me at least, everything that's been happening in the last few weeks since, like, because I've made one of these videos and since I post daily. I've made a video like this in quite a while, essentially to really kind of go over an overview of everything as far as, like, you know, just everything from, you know, just from what Universal's doing as far as like all the media previews, and then their photography. Hey, what's up everyone? This is Sean and welcome to a brand new video here on the Magic and Thrills. Now, it's been a while since we've had a discussion video, so I wanted to make a kind of a new video. Hey, what's up everyone? This is Sean and welcome back to the Magic and Thrills. Now, in this video, I wanted to have another nice kind of long discussion about, now that we're about 6 weeks out from the grand opening of Epic Universe, I wanted to kind of do an overarching video on kind of just the status of everything, where everything's at, competition with Disney World and Disney as a company, and kind of how things are going overall, and kind of just dive into it too. Now, what really kind of made me want to do this video in particular is the fact that CNN Travel, who are, you know, they're not really into the daily routine of like news updates or anything like that for what theme parks are offering, or news updates, anything like that, besides things like earnings calls or new attractions opening up, like in this case, but things like that. So that'd be an interesting thing to go, because there was an article that was posted on, looks like on April 7th, regarding just kind of once all these the media events kind of took place at Epic Universe and people were allowed to go in there. So this was written by Natasha Chen. I have no idea who that is for CNN, but basically she wrote an article about, you know, just about Epic Universe overall, and I'll put it up on the screen here for you guys to see as well. But basically just, you know, just describing the park overall, when it opens up, how there's been nothing in, you know, in the Orlando area as far as a brand new theme park for 26 years now, how large the actual park is, which she says is 750 acres, which is, you know, the whole land, how massive it is, a cost of $7.7 billion, which is around correct from what I've heard, which is around $8 billion. So all of that, which is, you know, overall correct information, and just kind of gets into how pretty much, you know, how she goes into really in depth in a sense on how each world, each land, on how it's, you know, her thoughts and feelings on it overall as well. And I kind of wanted to have like a 6 week out where things are a discussion about that. So, you know, overall, I mean, because now we're in Wednesday or Thursday, about 6 weeks out for the grand opening of Epic Universe, and really we're at a point now where things are starting to really heat up, so to speak, with the world of Epic Universe opening up. And, you know, we're getting closer to the summertime. Like overall spring break is pretty much over. So now we're hitting that time frame where it's the final months of school, and right as school ends for the year is when Epic Universe will be opening up. And just really my thoughts and feelings on all that stuff from what I've seen from, you know, reporting it to you guys daily, with as many updates as I can give you guys, and just things like that. So that's kind of where we're at for everything for now. So the biggest thing I've seen for today, and I did another video on it too as well, was just about how today, for example, with Universal Orlando for Epic Universe, they did announce again that now annual pass holders are now allowed to buy preview tickets. You have to buy them, so they're not free. That's one thing. So you have to buy them, but they are available for, I think it was from April 17th through at least May 8th for now. So about roughly a few weeks. And then Universal said that more tickets will come available down the road for those later dates, possibly through the opening date. I'm not sure, because I know that, like, in the article that they put out as far as Universal Orlando goes, they did kind of state that overall that they are warming up and preparing and rehearsing the park to be open. And from all the vloggers and YouTubers and media that I've seen over the past few days that have now had really direct access and full access overall to Epic Universe, it seems like Universal is in a very good spot with how they've been preparing to open up. and not every theme park, when it's brand new like this, can really have that to offer in a sense. So it's a very interesting kind of aspect from that point of view too. And I'm gonna go into the Disney side now because I think it's a very interesting thing because the article mentions this too on CNN Travel, that basically that they're basically thinking that it isn't that Epic Universe is an expensive park to go into for the overall price of about $180 for now at least, with no annual passes being available for obvious reasons. But it's really how that's going to take a dent into market share for Disney World. And of course I've had other videos on this in the past, kind of that I did talk about this a little bit, and I wanted to address it again because it is important information. Because really, the majority of Disney World or Disney fans, including myself, because again I am a Disney World fan still. I grew up going there, as I've stated in other videos too. But the majority of Disney World fans, the primary enjoyment for them, the primary emotionality they get from visiting a Disney World theme park, for the most part, is all based off of nostalgia of rides or experiences or really things that they grew up going to Disney World, attending and having a great time for the most part as a kid, and that really made an impact obviously on you as a child, as a kid. And for me, for example, that's what we did when I was a kid. I lived in the Orlando area, the suburbs, and essentially we did go to Disney World quite a lot, and it made an impact on me, and I grew up loving it and going there. And then I moved away to the Midwest, which is where I'm at now. But overall, I still enjoyed going back there because it really brought me back to the memories of childhood, of just the rides that I enjoyed. Now, I don't agree with many things that Disney's done in the past couple of years, especially during COVID and post-COVID, on how they've handled a lot of things that they've done as far as annual passes being paused and just things being taken away that were included while doing price hikes and really not taking care of all their rides and refurbishing and then instead of expanding lands, they're just taking rides out. So, and I'll go into that too here, but it's just really, they're in a really weird spot, Disney World is, where I feel like the nostalgia factor of Disney World's, business model is not working out for them anymore. And I mean that in a sense of where it's like, I mean, it'll still be there, don't get me wrong, but I still feel like it's going to be a thing where it's going to become less and less effective because right now, as it is, Universal, especially for Epic Universe, these 4 lands are really some of the more, in the way that I should say, the way that these lands are previewing right now and presenting themselves overall for people that are going in there. It's a very, very, the most common consensus I can think of to explain it, because I've never been there myself yet, so I'm not sure I'll know until I go there myself. But the overall consensus right now is that for Epic Universe, you will need to have upwards of 2 or 3 or 4 days to really get the full glimpse of it. And so for me, that means, because right now I'll only have my upcoming June trip with my son to go to Epic Universe, and then and that was all that I was planning on going to. Therefore, was just 1 day. But after this weekend, with all the YouTubers going there and really doing like just a bare minimum walkthrough of what Epic Universe is for each land, and they didn't even do everything in the lands because not everything's open or ready yet. It's a very interesting subject because they're all saying like, okay, well, actually Epic Universe can be and really should be a 2 to 3 day experience at minimum. And then you still have Islands of Adventure and you still have Universal Orlando. Now those parks are still in Volcano Bay, I guess, but those parks, the other ones, although they are, they're not as what they used to be. I mean, because now that you have, the latest and greatest for theme parks of Epic Universe, always the old stuff kind of tends to kind of be overshadowed for obvious reasons of it not being new anymore. But they're still really fun theme parks. And I will say, I will give Universal credit, incredible credit, because for the most part, ticket wise, until just about a month and a half ago, I think it's been roughly about like 6 weeks maybe, they have not sold, or offered, I should say, they have not offered anything for Epic Universe without forcing you literally to buy a whole package to go for at least 3 days. And from what I've seen online, the general consensus is that those packages, from what I've seen, have been their primary goal, because again, they want you to be there and experience everything. Whereas Disney, in my opinion, they really don't kind of care about that. They will, because Disney is, I think part of their problem, and I don't mean this in a mean way towards them, I just think that it's a thing that they need to fix and adjust to their business model, is that they are so used to being the king, the top of the food chain, so to speak, with the theme park industry for Orlando, because they have been that way. They have been the king for over 50 years, up until now, possibly. And I think it's a very interesting subject because, you know, Disney's never ever really encountered anything like this before. They've never really had to deal with having a competitor that's been, meaning like a brand new park. There's been new places popping up that are still, you know, that are newer than them, like, you know, like I think SeaWorld and things like that, and Legoland are newer in a sense, but they've never really had another company with, I would say, even maybe bigger IPs like Harry Potter and How to Train Your Dragon, and again, Dark Universe is a within itself its own thing, but still, they never had to really compete with another company for market share because they've always been at that tip top, that, you know, that top tier level as far as experience goes. So they don't really need to offer a minimum package for a new park as far as Disney goes. And you, I mean, you get discounts obviously for Disney World if the longer you stay there, but at that point they're still charging so much money for their experiences. And now that Disney World has really become kind of an a la carte park, meaning that like everything you do in there, if you want to, because the way I kind of present it to people as well online is that it's kind of like you either choose to save time by spending money on every little thing, meaning like lightning lanes, or just mobile order for food, and there's like you can choose that route of your Disney World experience and do it that way, where you save more time but you spend more money. Or there is the more old fashioned route at Disney World where you don't buy anything extra and you just go, but you are going to be waiting in long lines for the most part. Maybe not recently all the time, but for the most part you are. So I think that Disney is kind of, at least in my opinion, again, I love Disney World and I love them. I love them as a company. They are my childhood. Overall, they really are. But I feel like right now they really need to essentially take a look at themselves, not even look at Universal in a sense of competition, although they are competition, but they need to look at themselves first, reevaluate what they're doing for a business, and go from there. Because there's another part of the CNN article, which is why I'm mentioning all this, is because they're basically mentioning that Disney World needs to really build a fifth park, a fifth gate, so to speak, as what we call it, to have any kind of real reaction to what Epic Universe is going to be for the next many, many years. Because right now, again, all that we know for Disney World from what they've announced, which is all blue sky stuff, as we call it, as far as like it's an idea, it's been announced, but there's no announcement of there's no opening date, so to speak. So that's what this CNN article is really saying, is that for Disney to want to compete and stay in the same type of relevancy as what Epic Universe is going to be taking over for, you know, many years in this case, that Disney needs to open up a new park. And my thing is that I don't believe that would be the right answer right now. I don't think that they're ready for Disney World. I don't think that they have any ideas right now. And again, I could be totally wrong with this, but I feel like as of right now, Disney needs to look within and, for one thing, produce much better content, produce much better original films and original animation movies, not bring everything to be live action that is already a classic for them just because it's a possible like guaranteed moneymaker. They need to start off with that, I think, because again, the primary Disney, you know, money model besides their parks is that they make movies and content for Disney Plus. And that lately has not been their winning scenario. They have not won on the movie side besides Moana 2 maybe, or Frozen in a couple of years, because they don't have good content right now. It's just not there. I'm not saying that they don't make it. It's just not been released or whatever. I just want to see it. Like, it's not coming out the way it used to be when they were kind of kicking it as far as like, you know, for business, that kind of thing. So I think that a fifth park or fifth gate would be a bad idea right now. I think that they need to bring back, which I've said in many other videos, they need to bring back many other already included or already free services and even make more of them, honestly. So I'm not saying that necessarily Lightning Lane needs to go back to being Fast Pass and that whole free system, because they've obviously have made, I think that I read a thing on some news site that said they made like $1 billion last year, or a couple $1 billion on just Lightning Lanes since it's been there, since it's been available to purchase, so people are buying it. But I think that they need to really bring back some of the built-in things that made Disney as far as on their parks. They need to also fix their parks, meaning that they need to really make, I think personally they need to make more merch, honestly, not always sell out of it, because I mean, I know there's a supply and demand part of the whole merch thing, but in my opinion, one of Disney's best features is that they make really, really great merch for quality, overall quality, and the designs that they release and all those things that are involved with that area. They make great merch. Now, the majority of their merch sells out instantly or very, very fast, which is great for them. I love that. But they need to make more of it. Like even just this past for Run Disney, for example, which is not direct Disney, but it's its own entity, but it's still part of the company. But even with Run Disney in the past few weeks with their springtime surprise event, they did a Brooks Run Disney collaboration of shoes of four new collab shoes that came out, and they were not any more expensive than the actual shoe was on its own, but they had Disney designs all over them, and they sold out at the expo instantly. But Brooks handled it so well, where they continuously restocked the shoes that were sold out, and then they put it all online just in the past few days, and they sold out again. So that to me is a way that you should correctly do a business model for clothing and for merch, is that even if it sells out, then restock it. And I don't think that Disney in the past 5-10 years has really done a great job at keeping their merch, in stock. And I know that part of that, again, is supply and demand. They want to make the whole scarcity of merch be a part of the reason to buy it right when you have it and that chance to buy it. But I don't understand why you wouldn't want to make more money by making more of it. So that's just my opinion on it again. But again, if you feel different, let me know in the comments. I always appreciate that. But again, as far as like just within the parks themselves, again, back to what they have in the parks, I think that they need to shut down certain rides. So like Rise of the Resistance, for example, and a few other ones that are either constantly breaking down or are always having issues. Shut them down for honestly as long as it takes, even if they are a top tier ride. Shut them down for as long as it takes and fix them. Because one of my biggest pet peeves with Disney right now, as much as I love them, and I do, is that they will literally let a ride that's broken and they'll just shut a part of it down and run it all day. And I don't understand as a company how you can charge so much money and still keep price increases continuing and have these rides being broken and just be okay with it, with your ride being broken like that. Like to me, from any other business model, or I should say any other industry, to me that's a total fail. I don't understand how you can charge people as a guest, because again, some of these guests that come into Disney World are only there now every, maybe once in a lifetime or every 4 or 5 years. And a lot of people I've spoken with are also saying that they will do Disney now like less and less and less, or stay for shorter and shorter times, because to them it's not worth the money anymore when things are experience-wise are not there, or they're broken down or closed. So it's just one of those things. And I mean, they have a lot of rides under construction, like Test Track, for example, which is supposed to open this summer later on. It's been down for a while because it's being rethemed. That's the other thing, is I don't think that replacing things like Rivers of America is a good thing. I think they have the land. They need to expand their land before doing anything else for a new gate. I think a new gate is probably at least 10 years away, because I don't think that Disney right now, personally, I don't think that Disney has any idea as far as like what a fifth gate would even be. There's been rumors all over the years as far as like, what Villains Land now has been announced to be as being a gate or a park by itself, and that is kind of come and gone from the rumor mill. But I just think that really overall that they need to really fix what they have already created, finish it all, and just make sure that it doesn't continue down the road of being broken all the time. Because a lot of times, like I remember on my last Disney trip, which was now about a year ago, half the rides that I went on were either like for example, Ratatouille's Adventure. I literally bought at the time it was Genie Plus, but I bought a Genie Plus for $15 so I don't have to wait in line. I was by myself, and then I went on the ride itself, and it broke down halfway through, and then they made us wait on the ride for about 10-15 minutes when it was broken down to see if they can get it up and working again. It didn't happen. They had us get off the ride, and they gave me one of those Universal Experience passes to use for other rides. And the lame thing about those is that they're not even really good for the best tier rides. I couldn't go over to like Guardians of the Galaxy, which at the time had a virtual queue, or you had to buy the Lightning Lane for it, or buy the Genie Plus at the time, and use it for that. So that's what I mean. It's things like that where it's like your rides that I choose to go on break down. You can't fix it within a decent time frame, so you shut it down for possibly the rest of the day, which might be my whole trip, and then you don't even give me a pass that's going to be good for the next top tier experience. I just don't understand that business logic, or how that is in equatable experience for me when I'm paying so much money to go there. So not to vent, but that's just how I feel about it right now, where I feel like right now I feel like Disney has absolutely no answers for what Universal is doing. I feel like Universal is doing everything slowly with intent. But they're making moves. That's the whole thing, is that they're making moves, they're planning ideas, they're at least trying things. And I brought this up in other videos too, like even like for Halloween Horror Nights, which they own the whole horror experience from the popularity perspective of what they have for HHN. They're trying a Las Vegas experiment. They're trying new things. And I feel like Disney is just kind of at that point right now where they are so used to being the king again of what tourism is for, at least in Orlando, and they're just kind of banking on it to keep happening. And honestly, eventually, that it will wear off. There is still, of course, some hardcore Disney fans, and then again, I am a Disney fan, but I want the company to realize that they are not perfect. They are not, they're not a company that is immune to being disliked, essentially. And I don't mean this in a negative way. It's just they need to really work on themselves and as a company, and especially with a possible new CEO coming in the next few years, once Bob Iger steps down. If he actually does, we'll see if that actually happens. So all these ideas as far as Villains Land and Cars Land, which are now supposedly going into construction soon, we'll see. Those plans might all change. That's another issue that Disney has had, is that they announce all these blue sky ideas for things that are going to be possibly so far out in time for construction. That's the other issue that I'm just having issues with, is that Disney construction is insane. Like just the whole dinosaur area of Animal Kingdom going down for however long it's going to be going down for, to make room for the new experience, which is, again, I have no problem with that, but I just feel like it takes Disney so long in general to make a new experience, and even when the experience actually gets done and it's ready to go, it doesn't seem like it's ever a smooth opening. And I remember back when Tiana's Bayou Adventure opened up at Magic Kingdom, and again, it was a rethemed ride from Splash Mountain, which had been there for decades, and it took them a long time, like over 6 months, I believe it was, to get Tiana's Bayou to really work appropriately. I still don't know. I don't hear about it as much because of all the Epic Universe news right now, but I don't know if Tiana's Bayou is still fixed, technically speaking. But I have not heard as much drama about it being broken down or just stopping for the day, so that's good news on that side. So that's kind of my feelings right now on where Disney is at, and how I think they need to look within as a company and really kind of figure themselves out. And I mean, they're going to have to make some moves soon, because as far as like pricing goes, because right now, like as far as just, because I would say this, the biggest current positive thing I can say about Disney is that they do have the amazing feeling where, or I should say emotional feeling, where once you go, if you stay at a Disney hotel and you stay on property, that is one of the most fun experiences you can have, even if you don't go to a theme park. It's just they create a great vibe for that experience for staying on property. However, their hotels are still very expensive. So I think that the minimum that Disney can do right now, besides working on their parks and making sure that things are not broken down or just not working all the time and that kind of stuff, is I think they need to really improve or continue their property experience. Because like for me, for example, like so this, I have a trip upcoming in June for 5 days. I'm going to June for 5 days to do Epic Universe, at least for 1 day, probably in 2 now, with how much I've seen that where it needs to be more than 1 day. And I feel like I originally planned on having 2 days at Disney for my son, and with how I've seen Disney kind of continuing to do the same thing with not changing anything, I'm almost kind of just like on the verge of just making the entire trip Universal. And I've already booked our hotel. We're staying at Cabana Bay, because the pricing was honestly just way, way better than Disney World's hotel. Because even the Disney World Value hotels, which are a great experience, I love them, they were still more expensive, about like $50 than even Cabana Bay was. And I get the same experience, honestly, from staying at Cabana Bay than I do at a Disney World hotel. And to me, that's one of those things where it's like I love, because the Universal Cabana Bay hotels, it's a Loews hotel. They're not technically Disney, but I've never ever had a bad experience at Cabana Bay ever. And the transportation is great. The rooms are great. I get a great view, and that was actually really one of my biggest kind of choosing which one I wanted to go to, because I was really debating between All-Star Movie Resorts and also Cabana Bay, because I enjoy the idea of being like super close to Disney World by staying on property, but my biggest issue for myself is that I didn't like the idea from when I stayed there last time, that when I look out the window of All Star Movies, no matter where I'm staying at, it's just, it's just trees, which is, some people may love that, but for me, I'm like, when I'm in Orlando downtown, I want to be able to see the city from a tall point of view. I love. For me, I can choose a room that's way high up at Cabana Bay and see the whole theme park, or the water park, I mean, of Volcano Bay, and have a city view. To me, that's it doesn't get any better than that. I love that Cabana Bay and all the Universal properties, hotels, that they offer better Wi-Fi overall. They do, like, you have to pay for it, but it's a better Wi-Fi. You can bring your own devices to watch TV, so it's a little bit of home in Orlando. So it's things like that I love. I love that you can buy an annual pass out of state for Universal and pay it on the flexible payments. I love that. So just things like that. I think Disney needs to look at their own business model and adjust and change. Otherwise, they will get left behind. Because again, right now, as it sits, they're not going to have anything for new experiences that are brand new experiences really overall for the next 5 or 10 years at least, or it seems that way at least. Now, they do have their Destination D23 coming up in August right now, and I made a video for that too, but I don't know what they're going to announce, if anything, if it'll make a difference for Epic, because by then Epic Universe will be open for a few months, so we'll see about that, and that's where I'm going to go into now. So, on that Epic Universe opening, now, with Epic Universe now being again 6 weeks out, approximately, roughly within a day or two of being grand opening, so to speak, it's kind of going to be interesting because Universal has this unique opportunity right now where they can really redo and reimagine their image of how the theme park and tourism world sees them with how Epic Universe is opened. And what I mean by that is it's really going to be all about the word of mouth feedback that comes back after the first, probably I'd say, few weeks of them being open. So that's why I'm excited to go there and be part of that opening few weeks, because it'll be when everything is brand new and when the general public will have full access to everything. So Universal has a very unique opportunity right now, because they can own this whole grand opening experience of Epic Universe and really take control, if you will, of the whole industry going forward. Because again, as I said, Disney World has nothing to offer for at least 5 or 6 years at least for a brand new any competition for what Epic Universe is. So again, Universal Orlando has that opportunity to really seize the moment and own it. And that's not always as easy as it seems, but if they open up and have all the rides working nonstop, don't have wait times be crazy long, they have express passes already available, but even with those being available, as long as you don't have a crazy long wait time for all the big tier rides, that'll help. If they have the food being amazing, if they have merch in stock and fully available, it's all of those basic things that are going to really help Universal out. I know they're capable of it, because truthfully, every year when they do Halloween Horror Nights, and I go every year now, and I only go for one day, but the experience is always great. And everyone's always, as far as like everyone on the staff is always super accommodating, super nice, and super stoked that I'm there, and they're not stressed out, and they're always prepared. So I feel like Universal has that opportunity right there to seize that moment of a brand new park opening up and really making the word of mouth for Epic Universe opening become the best it could possibly be, because what that'll do for them is it'll travel way faster than any ad on YouTube or any article like the CNN one. It'll really kind of propel them to the next level, because once anyone tells anyone about how good of a time that they had for Epic Universe over a Disney vacation, that will speak all the volumes over anything an ad can do for what they can pay for, essentially, and that's what it's all about. So that is kind of where I'm at with everything right now. This is a lot longer than I thought than I intended this video to be, so I apologize for that. But again, I just wanted to make another quick review video of about 6 weeks out. I'll make another one of these probably every week now, just because again, right now the news for Epic Universe is happening so fast. It's pretty much daily news on what's happening, on what they're announcing, selling, offering. Because again, right now even we're into almost mid-April, so Halloween Horror Nights should be announced really any day now, hopefully, or super soon within the next week or so, or a few weeks. So we'll have HHN being announced for when it's on sale. Houses, all the hype for that will start up again as well. So I'm ready. I'm ready for this. So if you have any, so tell me this. I want to know if you have a Epic Universe vacation plan at all for the rest of this year, or if you're thinking about going. Let me know. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about it. If you have any, questions, comments, concerns about the park that you want me to answer, help you answer, because again, I will be going there. I will be filming, of course. I will be filming my experience there too. So I'm not gonna be like a daily vlogger kind of thing there, because again, I'm not going there. I don't go there every day. I don't live in Orlando. So, but I will be vlogging my experience in Orlando as far as the whole experience that I'm going on with my son. So it'll be a good time too. But again, let me know what you think about all this below in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you all in the next video.